dollar advertising powerhouse. Now she's calling it quits. Sandberg is stepping down as Chief Operating Officer of Facebook parent Meta Platforms. After 14 years, she served as the highest profile face of the company next to CEO Mark Zuckerberg. But she was criticized for the company's failure to rein in large-scale misinformation and privacy breaches. Russia says it is ready to settle claims on bonds that were judged to have breached their terms after missing a $1.9 million interest payment. It's an attempt to avert an insurance payout potentially worth billions of dollars. The Credit Derivatives Determinations Committee said a failure to pay event occurred on credit default swaps. Russia blames foreign counterparties for the delay. In Tulsa, Oklahoma, police say a gunman killed 4 people at a medical building, the latest in a series of mass shootings in the U.S. Authorities say the gunman apparently killed himself. It's unclear what led to the attack. Police say they were on the scene about 3 minutes after getting a report. Global News 24 hours a day. I'm Ritika Gupta. This is Bloomberg.
You probably know Vistaprint for business cards. Yeah, we print that. But did you know we also print that, and that, and that, and that menu? And that's embroidery, but yeah, we print that too.
Can you print here?
Sure, we can print there. We can even help design it. We make print that lets people wear your brand. Take it. Stick it. Carry anything in it. So next time you think print, remember, when you use Vistaprint, the print abilities are endless. Print it all at Vistaprint.com.
What does the future of strength look like? It's dynamic weight that adjusts for you in real time for a more efficient workout. And you can only experience it on Tonal.
Learn more at Tonal.com.
I'm Jeff from Nuts.com. When my grandfather started this business in 1929, he relied on 4 important values: freshness, quality, variety, and service. I'm proud to carry on his legacy, but from a bigger space. We still freshly roast, season, and dip delicious nuts here in New Jersey and deliver them with the freshest dried fruits, snacks, and sweets to families that love our products all around the country, including mine. We think you'll love Nuts.com too, so check us out and enjoy free shipping on your first order.
Time-saving element of Tovala has definitely changed my day, my night, and just makes life easier for me. Tovala is my personal chef.
Tovala. Browse this week's meals at Tovala.com.
It doesn't have to be like this. You don't have to live in fear just because you don't have life insurance. With Ethos, 10 minutes could protect your family for as little as $10 per month. To get a quote in seconds, go to ethoslife.com. Honey?
Yo, dude, you need some help?
Don't worry about me.
Yo, there's no shame.
No shame? You don't know my family, man.
It's okay to ask for help. Find a licensed therapist at BetterHelp.com.
Name's Amy, and I bought and financed my car through Carvana. Everything was all good, but then things hit a slight snag. Okay, so they were trying to verify my employment status while I was at work in a giant hole in a mine. But then something amazing happened.
Hello.
Carvana worked with my shift manager and got everything sorted out, so I didn't miss out on the car. Super helpful. I was over the moon, even though I was underground.
We'll drive you happy at Carvana.
Time for our Memorial Day sale on the Sleep Number 360 smart bed. It senses your movement and automatically adjusts so you both stay comfortable. It can help you get almost 30 minutes more restful sleep per night. Save $1,000 on the Sleep Number 360 Special Edition smart bed Queen at only $19.99. Only for a limited time.
May jobs are in focus.
There are 11 million open jobs.
And you wonder how that folds into the future of the American labor economy.
Friday, Tom, John, Lisa, and Mike will bring you crucial data and expert analysis at terminal speed.
The labor market is starting to get a little easier.
95% of the jobs that were pre-pandemic have recovered.
Because there's more resiliency in the economy.
The May Jobs Report, Friday on Bloomberg Television and Radio.
It's a hurricane. Right now, it's kind of sunny. Things are doing fine. You know, everyone thinks the Fed can handle this. That hurricane is right out there down the road coming our way. We just don't know if it's a minor one or Superstorm Sandy.
Jamie Dimon making some headlines in the last 24 hours, the JP Morgan Chase chairman and CEO.
Wow.
TK, what did you make of that yesterday?
I think magnitude is the issue here. In economics, one of the great divides, John, is sophomore year, they start talking magnitude, and they look at it on a log basis. He gives you the magnitude of the hurricane, but one of the issues here for Chairman Powell is you don't have a hurricane, and you ebb away. And what you get, John, then, is a longer-term inflation. If you don't get the cathartic recession, we get the longer-term inflation, which crushes the middle class.
In many ways, Tom, wasn't he just stating the obvious? There's some storm clouds brewing, there's some trouble on the horizon. Might be a weak hurricane, might be a strong one.
I give great credit to Lisa for driving Brian Moynihan and Davos toward actually talking about the banking business. I mean, I'm sorry, John, a lot of these CEOs now want to go all macro all the time, and I just wish you'd read Kasman and Feroli, who are not calling for a hurricane.
Elisa, I think that was a subtle dig there from TK. I will say, if you take the more complete quote from Jamie Dimon, he does end up by concluding about the bank and what he's doing at the bank because of the challenges that they face, and maybe just lightening up some risk with the balance sheet because of what we could face further down the road.
Although, let's be honest, Jamie Dimon usually, when he gives these speeches, comes off more, and this is something we were talking about earlier, as a statesman or trying to be a figurehead rather than a leader of a bank. And does this sort of indicate where his role is going to evolve or where it should evolve in terms of the eyes of people who would like to see some sort of predecessors come up and try to get through the ranks?
We got to do this quickly before Jack Fitzpatrick on Washington politics. Lisa talks about figurehead. John, let's go to the Jubilee in London. And in the front row, separate from the royals, is the Prime Minister. They showed Prime Minister Johnson earlier. Is he on the edge of Theresa May, John? Is he really threatened?
You're going to do your utmost to make me the royal correspondent over the next 48 hours. I'm not playing.
Okay, but the Prime Minister, is his job really threatened?
That's up to him, Tom, about whether he wants to resign or not. Would people like to see him step down? Some people would, yes, after the Partygate scandal. Others still support him. That's the balanced view.
Is this how Tom's trying to get you to play into the Jubilee, is to ask about Johnson's future?
I don't know where this is going. Are you trying to transition from there to the Queen's future?
I'm going to transition.
Where do you want to take this?
I'm taking it to Jack Fitzpatrick, who's going to save us in Washington, capital of the colonies, right now. Jack Fitzpatrick, the president I know, is riveted to the Jubilee as well, but there is no Jubilee at the White House. Let's go to what we need to talk about on Thursday. Does he need to shake up the White House to get to the Sunday talk shows?
You know, there's been, I guess, murmurs about when there might be a White House staff shakeup for a while now, because you see the White House kind of responding frantically to a series of crises, and the pressure he's faced, and really kind of the lack of answers from the White House on why the president didn't know more when the FDA should have told him more about the baby formula shortage. All of that seems to lead to those questions, but I'm not entirely sure at what point the pressure builds enough so that somebody's got to go. Obviously, at this point into the presidency, it's kind of been dominated by responses rather than sort of fulfilling his vision. It's been responding to crises, but he hasn't expressed frustration outright with anybody in particular.
Jack, you've been covering politics in the Beltway for a long time. How unusual is this feeling that this president, his administration, is constantly behind the 8 ball, whether it's with infant formula, whether it's with gas prices, whether it's with inflation, whether it's with just how things are developing on the labor front? How much do you get the sense that this is a uniquely behind White House versus run-of-the-mill, classic, hard to gauge, a very fast-moving economic cycle?
I think it's not that unusual for the news cycle surrounding the president to be responding to crises, especially in the environment we have in Washington right now, where even a fairly minor crisis could be ginned up into something bigger as you get close to the midterms. But it is the set of circumstances right now are pretty extreme. So obviously there's not a lot of history to go by for how you respond to opening up during a pandemic. It's a very difficult set of circumstances, but also it's not unheard of for the presidential news cycle in recent history to be dominated by pretty negative news and struggling to respond to a crisis.
Jack, there is this issue now of whether or not the president's going to head to Riyadh, whether the president's going to head to Saudi Arabia to try to have some sort of communication and a better relationship to induce more oil production from that region. How is that playing in Washington?